Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is my final video for one of the dioramas that I'm doing that shows the fighting history of the Grossdeutschland division during World War II. Now, as you can see from the title of the video, it's about the storming of Stonne. But before we look at that diorama, I just thought I'd recap on the other two dioramas I've done for this series. So the first one I did, if you may recall, was called Success at Sedan, where the Grossdeutschland division was used to break through the defences at Sedan. Just a very simple diorama with a truck and 4 infantrymen making their way from Sedan and actually making their way to Stonne. And then, I can't remember why, we jumped ahead a bit and we had Parade and Prayers in Paris, July 1940, where the Grossdeutschland division paraded in Paris after the capitulation of the French government, and they went to Notre Dame and basically had prayers at Notre Dame. So the vignette I'm about to show you falls in between these two periods. So I'll grab that vignette now and we'll have a look at it. So here it is, guys. This is Storming Stonne, which was a battle that took place in France, as I say. Now, I thought I'd just give you a bit of background before we have a look at the vignette itself. Okay, so Wikipedia tells us that part of Guderian's original plan had called for a feint south towards and behind the Maginot Line to mask the intention to thrust to the Channel. General Franz Halder had dropped this from Fort Galbe, but Guderian resurrected it and ordered the 10th Panzer Division and the Grossdeutschland Infantry Regiment to attack across the Stonne Plateau. In this innocuous town, a vicious 2-day battle took place, in which the Germans came face to face with the premier French tank, the Char 1BB. For the only time, one of these tanks, commanded by Pierre Billot, proved invulnerable to German anti-tank fire and took 140 hits and knocked out 13 German tanks, 2 Panzer Mark IVs and 11 Panzer Mark IIIs, and a number of anti-tank guns. It transpired that the French had concentrated their own armour there to mount another attack on the Sedan bridgeheads. The Battle of Stonne took place between the 15th and 17th of May, and the town changed hands 17 times. Ultimately, the failure of the French to hold it meant the final failure to eliminate the Sedan bridgeheads. So all I'm depicting here is the French anti-tank position, basically covering the road or the approach to Stonne. So this is one of the initial engagements, and we have the German Grossdeutschland division, or some troops of it anyway, basically making their way carefully to try and take out this position. The diorama is possibly a bit clean, to be honest. It was one of the things that somebody commented on with my prayer and parade in Paris. And as you can see, this is supposed to be a farm courtyard or a courtyard to a stately home or something. And yes, perhaps it's a bit clean, but I don't know. It's something I've got to learn to do, to try and mess things up a bit, if you like. So the previous videos that I've done on this showed 1 or 2 aspects of creating the walls, for instance, the farm cart that's in the background. And it's actually been 9 months since I last showed you this vignette. The figures are from Warlord Games, as I mentioned before. So the French are actually metal figures, and the German are their plastic range. I think I may have mentioned that one of the things that I was concerned about was doing the grassed area because it was so large, and I've never flocked an area that big, so I was concerned that it wouldn't work out. It's okay. I think it has turned out okay, but whether I could have done better, I don't know. The tree is just came as I just bought that separate, and then just the base was within the das clay, and I've just placed that in there. So I am pleased with it. I am pleased that I finished it. Obviously, it was one that was sitting on my shelf for some time. The next diorama in the series, we actually go back even further. So I think it's when the Germans do their very first attacks on Belgium and the Netherlands and so on, and it's right at the beginning. I wouldn't say of the war, obviously, because Poland has already been taken, and you could argue that Czechoslovakia has been taken. So, but it's where the Grossdeutschland basically started their war, if you like, because they weren't involved in the Polish campaign. So here you can see the sergeant basically readying his men to attack the position, and then we've got the French position. I'll have to zoom it. I'll just bring the camera down a bit. There's the French position. You've got obviously somebody here receiving orders or intelligence about where the German armour or whatever may be, and the gun getting ready to fire, and we've got the spotter as well. I tried to create some ammo cases just to give the impression that, you know, that we've got the shells for the gun there. And then the farm cart, which was just a little bit of fun to add to the whole scene. And that's basically it. So there we go. So I hope you like this, guys, and thanks ever so much for watching. I may give an intro video soon about what the next diorama will be and what that will entail. But for the moment, that's basically it. I just wanted to say a quick thank you to my subscribers, especially to those guys who've subscribed to me over the last week or so. Thanks ever so much, everybody. I do appreciate it. I'm just 5 off the magic 200, which is I'm quite astounded about, really. And as I say, I do appreciate your support. It does give me a morale boost.